There were curmudgeonly farmers who had sworn to their wives, now listen, when we get to Van Tassel's, I ain't dancing, not one step. Well, maybe to a tree, and when the music starts, why, the old farmers are out on the dance floor, and they're spinning their little gold biddies around like tops, and then they have to give way. Why? Because Ichabod Crane is inflicted with like St. Vitus's dance. There he is. Clearly of the school of dance that believes when you dance, there should remain no part of the body unmoved. Even thee. And everyone marveled, is this the same fellow who flogs our children? Why is he so happy? His partner, the beautiful, bountiful Katrina Van Tassel. Oh, Ichabod, you're such a good dancer. Thank you, Katrina. Ichabod, could you fetch me some cider? Oh, of course. I'm going to have a little sip of cider now, too, after the dance. Did you put the hard stuff in here? Thank you. You know who took this hard? Trombone. See, he was one of these men who considered it unmanly to dance. He just sulked the whole time. But when Ichabod fetched the cider, Brom went out to fetch the old stories from the days that tried one's soul, the American Revolution. For he knew what soon would follow. Now first, up steps a fellow who says, all right, now let me tell you what happened. It was the summer of 1776. I'm Doffue Martland, by the way. And, you're going to know about this and me. Now, we looked out onto the Tappan Zee from the tavern. Oh, I almost dropped my beer. What did I see? 2 British warships, the Phoenix and the Rose. Each of them got about 100 cannon on them. Oh, folks, run out of the tavern, not Doffue Martland here. I hauls my cannon down by the Tappan Zee. I loads it up. Shoot, shoot. I lights it. Boom! I bring down a sail. I'm going for 2. Shoot, shoot. Boom! I takes down a mast. I'm aiming for 3. Shoot, shoot. And then... What the... Oh, I would have knocked out the whole fleet had not my cannon blown up first. And then up steps a distinguished gentleman. Now listen, everyone, we don't want to hear about Doffue's faulty cannon. Rather, you'd hear about my experience at the Battle of White Plains. Now, there I stood, aide-de-camp to His Excellency, General George Washington. And I noticed a bullet burning directly towards the good general's visage. What did I do? No time to pull out my revolver and load it. So I jumped in front of the general and drew my sword, and with that bullet, I parried and dashed it aside, thus saving the good general's profile and the American Revolution. You're laughing? You can see the mark that bullet left on my sword's hilt. Inevitably, ghost stories rise in Sleepy Hollow. Well, someone said, before that storm, I saw the woman in white. Heard her crying. Filled me with pity. Oh, I know what you mean. I was down by Wildey Swamp early in the morning, and that ghost of Andre comes behind me, put his icy hand on my shoulder. And now, days later, still feels like the cold hand is there. And then, a dubious gentleman rises. Well, this is all fine and good, but this other ghost you talk about, the Headless Horseman, there's no such thing as that, is there? Shh, quiet. What? Shh, don't say another word. What are you talking about? You don't dare doubt a ghost, especially that ghost around here. Oh, no. If you doubt the Headless Horseman, it'll come to haunt you. Why, come over here and tell the story. Farmer Brower? Oh. All right. Now listen, old man. Used to be a time you'd find me down at the Tarrytown Tavern. Oh, I'm a heretical disbeliever in ghosts, and I would drink to it. But I pray thee no more. 'Cause one evening, about this time of day, I left the Tarrytown Tavern, and I'm riding up. When my nose, it got all filled up with a smell of sulfur. And then, sounds like the ground was open, and I'm near the old Dutch church. And then, ba-rump, 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 ba-rump. Another rider's coming behind me. I pulled over to let him pass, courtesy of the road. A huge horse comes by, and sparks coming from its hooves. And I look, and the rider has but it has it right there. And it falls off and hurls it, and it cracks me in the back. I fall off my horse right off the bridge by the old Dutch church. I turn round, and then there's a clap of thunder, a jolt of lightning, and across the sky it flies. All the bones glowing a ghastly green. It vanishes. And then up steps Brown Bones. Steady yourself there, Brower. Have another drink. I know about the Headless Horseman, too. There was a time I was coming out of a little tavern in Spart on the edge of the village of Sing Sing. We sung all their songs, and I'm coming out. And I look, and in the shadows by the Tappan Zee, I see it, skulking there. 1-4. I weren't about to let him get mine, so I figure I'm a daredevil. I'll outrace him. So I says, a bowl of punch to the first one across the bridge by the old Dutch church. And by Goblin, a race was on. The Goblin horse was off on the wings of the wind, and I'm going, ha, ha, ha. I'm hitting daredevil hard as I can, and my horse is running, and I would have beat him. But then, just as we come upon the bridge, the Goblin reins in his horse. I clatter over the bridge. I turn in to tell him, you owe me a bowl of punch, when I see it. There's an illumination of the bones. Yea, a ghastly green. Ba-boom! And it vanishes. See? The Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow cannot cross the bridge by the old Dutch church. Cannot. Woo! Ichabod shrieks, waking Baltus Fantastic, who says, all right there, Brom, enough of your ghostly tales, and Ichabod, calm thyself and everyone. Well, thank you all for coming tonight, and enjoying our hospitality. We'll have a frolic again next year, but good night, good night, good night, good riddance, good night, good night. And everyone will come back and do it next year, good night. And for once, merry laughter filled the melancholy air of Sleepy Hollow. And merriest of all, Ichabod Crane. He goes round to Katrina's window like some country Romeo, brings out his ode, makes his recitation, and alas, it did not go well for Ichabod. Why, he got back on gunpowder, looking as forlorn and melancholy as was the night. Consider this. It's possible Katrina Van Tassel danced with Ichabod Crane just to make Brom Bones jealous. Ichabod found his only companion that night was a lone hound baying all the way from West Milford, New Jersey, across the Tappan Zee.